I gotta switch.
And then we'll do the hymn sing. That's the only thing we'll do out of order today, maybe. No promises. You're ready?
Playing this? I think she's just
Yeah, just one. Usually I'm holding it.
I think I need that one. I don't know. Let's start over. Okay, let's start over. Okay, now we know that. Oops. Let me be perfectly. Thank you. Now we know it. Now we're not out of order anymore. Do you have songs you'd like to sing?
237.
237.
1 and 3.
1 and 3. 0, 2, 1, and 3. And we have time for one more. Four, 5, 1. I get to choose. Let's do 1 and 2. I want to say a big welcome to our online visitors. We're glad you have joined us. And let's join in the welcome statement. Welcome to United Church. We are a peace and justice community, a movement towards wholeness in a fragmented world. Together we create a strong sense of belonging, a safe place to flourish, and opportunities to grow in our own way and in our own time. Take a moment for social justice.
Good morning, everyone. So we have something that has reemerged in St. Johns County, and that is there is perhaps now a real chance to get something moving on this scraped earth policy of development that we have here. And that is that they are going to be coming, looking at tree ordinances again in the Board of County Commissioners on Tuesday. And, we did a whole lot with that during this last year or two. And so it looks like there's a real chance that something can happen. So it's kind of nice to lob in just a few emails right now before Tuesday so that they can know that there is real concern about this. I mean, 3 county commissioners were elected on this whole platform of protecting our trees. We want to see some progress on it. So that's what that first one is. This is a little bumper sticker we put together. Remember those? A lot of us have them on our cars. I have 4 left that I know of where they are. 3 on my seat, 1 here. I'll put them on the back table. If you will put it on your car, take one. Okay? Please do take them so there's none left today, because we want this to be out there and visible, and we'll get some more of these. Other thing, there is a whole thing happening right now with freedom of speech and the right to protest. And the right to protest in nonviolent ways, but effectively, even if it's not popular with some people who may be in power. That is essential and core to who we are as the American people. That is under direct attack at this point. There is a young man, Mahmoud Khalil. He led demonstrations together with others at Columbia University. He is in the target. He is in the spotlight right now. He has been taken away from his family and other friends that he knows, and he is down in Louisiana, and he's being held in detention. You've heard me talk about Argentina before. I was there 50 years ago right now. I watched this happening. I watched this movement in this direction, and the end result of it being a time of just intense psychological and social darkness and the disappearances of people. This is the beginning incremental steps towards that. We must stop it now. We must stop it now. So this is 5 calls about that. Please call. And then if you see something else on there later on this week you want to call about, call them and call them and call them and call them. Now's the time, folks, because in a few months it may be really difficult to turn this back. Now's the time for people to stand for love, compassion, justice, human rights, core to what we hear in the teachings of Jesus.
Catch up with him after if you have questions. Are there other social justice announcements? We are social justice.
I think so. It's just about vote.
Real quick.
It's just about voting. April 1st, there's special elections. We gotta win Congress back.
Nothing political, we don't take sides, so let's vote. We will vote. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. We are standing with the farm workers in our local communities by collecting long sleeve shirts to protect from pesticides, insects, sun, and prickly things. So thank you for your generosity. We have one more Sunday that we're collecting these shirts, and then we'll take them to be distributed. And the people we distribute through go to the 3 counties, Putnam, Volusia, White. Maybe St. John's too, because it's 2 organizations, but thank you for that. This is the 2nd Sunday in Lent, with Lent being the 40-day season, which leads us to Easter. And our spiritual practice during this Lenten season is releasing and receiving. So we are releasing or letting go of our belief in easy answers. That's really hard. Releasing our belief in this is how we've always done it. Thinking. That's really hard. Letting go of certitude, being sure that we know what's best. That's hard. Letting go of straight line thinking. And what we are receiving are the gifts of the circles and the spirals of life's labyrinth. I love that the labyrinth's on our table. We're paying special attention to the center. So when you walk the labyrinth, you follow the circles and spirals in, out, and you end at the beginning, part of the mystery. But it is the circle that we are really honoring during the Lenten season. The circle is the place that you turn around. You might think of it as being filled with the gifts of repentance, which in the original biblical context literally means to turn, go a different direction. The center is the place of change, transition, the womb of new life, liberation, cave of resurrection. So one of the many ways that we are honoring this center space is by staying there as long as we need to. Gifting ourselves the time that we need to let go of all the things that we think we know. To convince ourselves that it's okay to see differently and to hear differently and listen differently. Gifting ourselves the time to notice what we as individuals have been circling around or wrestling with or wondering about. Giving ourselves time to honor our own questions. And we at the United Church have been asking a lot of questions during the past several months. We completed a series in January where we asked, where are we now? Where are we now? It's interesting to me that the books that we are reading at this particular moment have titles that are questions. Right? We're reading Martin Luther King's Where Do We Go From Here? In many ways, the series is being built around Margaret Wheatley's Who Do We Choose to Be? 'Tis the season for honoring our questions. Margaret Wheatley adds a twist to an old question. Can you go to the next slide? One more. That one? Yep. This is a twist, a new twist, in my opinion, on an old question. I used to ask, what's wrong and how can I fix it? Now I ask, what is possible? Who cares? Let us not be fools. Entertaining new questions, letting go of old maps can be uncomfortable, unsettling. Do I need to speak for myself? Are you all good at that? For me, it's hard. Seeing things differently, listening to others, engaging in new ways of doing familiar things can feel awkward, uncomfortable. Letting go of our certainty and our certitude can be disconcerting. I've been feeling this a lot lately. It seems like I am in a time of my life that is just saturated with immense uncertainty. Uncertainty.
Immense, what you said? Immense.
Immense
Sorry.
uncertainty. No, one of our rules is if you can't hear me, I don't know that, you need to let me know, so thank you. Thank you for that. It seems to me that the world is on fire, literally, figuratively. The seas are quaking. And many of the ways that I was raised with are changing. And yet this remains a safe space. For that, I am grateful. I'm grateful for every single person here, for who you are, for what you do. This is a safe place where we can gather to sing and to pray, to doubt and discuss, to ask questions. And I'm grateful for that. These precious moments that we share together are gifts filled with wisdom, inspiration, connections, all of which nurture and refresh our human spirits. So thank you for being who you are, where you are. In this sanctified space, we are grounded in the healing embrace of a loving community. We can be transformed by all that is whole and holy and yet invisible. This is a place of salvation. This is holy ground, safe space. So I invite you to take a few moments to breathe deeply, to inhale holiness and exhale kindness. Let go of some of what is bothering you. Let go of what you might be clinging to. Inhale generosity. Exhale creativity. Inhale curiosity. Exhale new ways of seeing, believing. Welcome to the United Church. We are a peace and justice community, a movement of wholeness, a movement of healing, in a world that is increasingly fragmented and hurting. Together we create a strong sense of belonging, a safe place to flourish, opportunities to grow in our own way, in our own time. Let us bring in the light of Christ. Sometimes I just lose myself, fear and doubt take hold. Times when I feel overwhelmed by all that is unknown. Spirit, come and calm me down. Help my heart find home. Still my mind, my fear, my doubt. Help me to truly know you are with me
you're holding my life, loving me perfectly. Sometimes we all lose ourselves when our fears take hold. May we learn this prayer so well. Is it when we get home? Spirit, come and calm us down. Help our hearts find hope. Still our minds, our fears, our doubts. Help us to truly know you are with us. Though our eyes may not see, now you're holding our life, loving us perfectly. Spirit, come and calm us down. Help our hearts find home. Still our minds, our fears, our doubts. Help us to truly know you are with me. Though our eyes may not see, how you're holding our lives, loving us perfectly, loving us perfectly. Finding myself at a loss for words. And the funny thing is, it's okay. The last thing I need is to be heard, but to hear what you say. But our God speak, that you pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty. Be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness, Word of God. Finding myself in the midst of you, beyond the music, beyond the noise. All that I need is to be with you, and in the quiet, hear your voice, a word of God speak, pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty. To be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. Word of God speak, pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty. majesty to be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holy hand. I'm finding myself at a lost word, and the funny thing is, it's okay.
You are invited to light a candle on the table if you would like to look at the labyrinth, to touch the waters.
I will be reading to you from Psalms 123 by Reverend Dr. Wilda Gaffney. To you I lift up my eyes, the one who is enthroned in heaven. See, it is just as the eyes of the enslaved are toward the hand of their Lord, as the eyes of an enslaved gift toward the hand of her mistress. Just so our eyes look to the mighty one of our God, until God shows us favor. Have mercy upon us, merciful one. Have mercy upon us. For we have more than our fill of contempt. Our soul has had more than its fill of the scorn of those who are at ease, of the contempt of the proud. And then we have Living Psalms 123 by Michelle Torrigan. We could say that God was on our side, clearing blocked roads, turning the tables, healing the unhealable. I want to tell you something. Before I was born, my father had TB, and he listened to the radio, and he heard a minister talking, and he got on his knees and cried, and he said, God, forgive me for all the things I've done. And when my mother came home from the movies with her daughter, he said, Donna, you've got to come in here. And she came in, and he said, Donna, I may not leave, but I'm not going to be the husband I've been. I love you. I won't cuss. I won't do anything. And the good thing was I wasn't there, but my father was healed. I wanted you to know this. I'll read on now. Yes, God is not a one-stop shop for our privilege. God is not a delivery service for our greatest desires. The favor of God doesn't just keep us from riches and sports car and private jets and matches. No, God isn't a privilege keeper. A genie in a bottle to whom we ask for unlimited wishes? Sometimes the raging waters swallow us whole. But our God who abides us with eternally will never let us leave alone in our tears, will never give us as prey to their teeth, will send winds hoping to stop our agony, will dry us when we are drenched, and will send love when we feel so greatly alone. So let us say that God was always on the side of justice, on the side of those marginalized, on the side of the ones fleeing pain, on the side of everlasting peace and joy. For whatever part our Creator plays each day in rescuing us from being subjects of hate and from the crushing of our spirits and bodies, blessed be the one who came to our rescue. Our God is by our side. The Spirit calls us to safety. We celebrate our gratitude in the name of our God, Creator of heaven and earth.
I will be reading from Matthew 21:12 as translated by the Reverend Dr. Wilda Gaffney. Then Jesus entered the temple and drove out all who were selling and buying in the temple. And the tables of the money changers he turned over, as well as those who sold doves. He said to them, "It is written, my house shall be a house called a house of prayer, but you all are making it a den of robbers." And they came to him in the temple, those who were blind and disabled, and he cured them. Now when the chief priests and religious leaders saw the amazing things that he did, and heard the girls and boys crying out in the temple, "Hosanna to the Son of David," they became angry. They said to him, "Do you hear what these are saying?" And Jesus said to them, "Yes. Have you never read that out of the mouths of infants and nursing babies, you have prepared praise for yourself?" He left them, went out to the city of Bethany, and spent the night there.
I like the ending of that reading, where Jesus leaves the chaos
Yeah.
and goes on over to Bethany, where I'm assuming and hoping he found rest. I also hope he traveled there in a straight line. I've been having a little trouble appreciating all the curves and twists and turns of life recently. Heading over to Bethany to rest sounds like a good thing to me. Is it just me? We all feel like we might need a little break, a rest, some time out. You know, more than once in my lifetime, I've tried to create my own Bethany by intentionally selecting who am I going to listen to? Who am I going to learn from? As much as I would like to, I can't listen to everyone. And there's a lot of wisdom in this world, but I'm just one. I'm just one. So I've tried to create my own little Bethany. As a young adult, I made a decision that I would listen to and follow Jesus. And then about a month ago, I decided I'd still follow Jesus, but I was also going to listen to and learn from Margaret Wheatley. It was my hope that by narrowing my focus, that would make life easy. But I'm here to tell you, both Jesus and Margaret Wheatley are working on me, maybe working in me. So far, they have not led me to resting in Bethany. I've been working my way through two of Margaret Wheatley's books, Who Do We Choose to Be and Restoring Sanity, both of which are intriguing and unsettling, as is the story of Jesus as I read it. Both Jesus and Wheatley are at the center of this Lenten series. They are the ones whose life lessons we are circling around. And as I've already mentioned, for some reason last week was a special struggle for me. I wrote this message three times. And each version felt incomplete, incoherent, and unsettling. And frankly left me doubting and questioning and maybe even begging, like, can't I just have a nice message? No. Can I just have something that's calm and soothing? You know, I like to have a plan, right? I like to know where we're going. And then I remember I have to practice what I preach to appreciate the twists and turns. Yesterday morning, I was still questioning all this unsettling. Yesterday morning, I like to know what I'm going to say on Wednesday. So I had this idea to engage in my own spiritual practice, which I've been telling you about week after week. I had this idea, again, to basically practice what I preach. And so this week, it was not just a spiritual practice, it was actually a prayer of panic, right? Come, Holy Wisdom, come. Speak. I am listening. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. I don't want a circle and spiral. I want a straight line and I want it now. I. So after my prayer of desperation and panic, a sense of direction rose up. Will you put up the next slide? Once I confessed, I'm lost. It came a new roadmap. And again, I was hoping for a straight line, but this is what I got. Go back. Begin again. Begin at the end. We go to the next slide. Return to where you were with Wheatley. Reread the gospel story and circle around what stands out. I think the subtext was, don't look for anything easy because you ain't in Bethany yet. So I reopened Who Do We Choose to Be by Wheatley, and I turned to the page where she was writing how the book is laid out. It's laid out in three sections: facing reality, claiming leadership, restoring sanity, and each section is filled with questions. So the question in facing reality is, where are we? How did we get here? Claiming leadership, she asking, what is good leadership in a crazed and conflicted world? In restoring sanity, the question is, how do we create conditions for people to be kind, generous, creative? But what stood out was her description, her overarching description of the sections. Each section is organized to inform, provoke, and disturb. I thought, oh, well, no wonder. It works. This is what she writes. My first purpose is for you to see clearly, and for that, in order to see clearly, provocation and disturbance are necessary. And then she goes on to say, you can't see clearly when you're clinging to the old stuff. You gotta let go. You gotta create space. So, fine. I was supposed to feel unsettled, so I went back to the gospel, right? Circle back. Look at the story of Jesus. And you know what stood out? There he is in the temple, creating a disturbance, right? Flipping over the tables, messing stuff up, defying the authorities. No wonder I feel unsettled. And frankly, I don't think Jesus would have behaved like that if he wasn't feeling unsettled. Something was going on. If it's good enough for Jesus and Wheatley, good enough for me. Seems like they got a thing. And it's working on me. So I circled back to Wheatley. Not the Jesus, not the turn over table. Let's circle back to Wheatley, whose thesis, as I understand it, is twofold. Number one, she clearly states what we are experiencing is the end of an era. The world as we know it is coming to an end. And she's done her homework on 99.9%. She's right, not 100% scared, but she's right. Number two, instead of using our energy to stop the unraveling that's happening, she suggests we shift our focus to our own neighborhoods, to our own communities. She suggests we pay special attention to what our friends, our neighbors, and our enemies need right now, which are opportunities to step out of the chaos and into what I'm calling the Imago Dei, the image of God within. Wheatley believes that, now these are my words, she doesn't say Imago Dei, I am, but she believes that the goodness at the core of human is our ability to be creative, our ability to be kind, our ability to be generous, and we need spaces, safe spaces to practice. Her thinking runs a strong line with Karen Armstrong's beliefs about compassion. But instead of starting little groups like Compassion at St. Augustine, which at their core are opportunities for people to practice being compassionate, Wheatley's suggesting we create islands of sanity, safety, where we can be creative, kind, generous. Is it just me, or do you feel good when you're kind? What about when you're generous? You feel good when you're generous? What about when you're creating? Being creative. Those are the outlets for stepping into our best selves. When everyone can engage with these God-given good capacities, everyone thrives. Margaret Wheatley's calling these opportunities islands of sanity. We religious folks might want to call them pockets of salvation, or even the path to salvation. Wheatley and Jesus are working in me. I circle to Wheatley, back to Jesus, back to Wheatley, back to Jesus. So this time I went back and read today's gospel story. And I don't know about you, but I always taught that the whole focus, the important part of the story was the turning of tables. What about you? What stood out for me was what happened next. Anybody remember what happened after that? Who did he heal? The people who were not allowed in the temple. Stunning. And they came to him in the temple. Those who were blind and disabled. And he cured them. These are small groups of people who don't do what everybody else does, supposedly. People who move through the world differently, seeing differently, feeling differently. They were not allowed to approach the altar. Jesus creates safe space for those who were deemed unclean and unworthy. And he defied authority. In True to Our Native Land Bible commentary, Michael J. Brown writes that turning over the tables was enough to get a person crucified. Attacks on existing power structures, especially oppressive power structures, often brings death, dealing retaliation. And Jesus doesn't stop there. His first outrageous act of flipping the tables is followed by an even more outrageous acts. He invites the outsiders in. Let me ask you a question. Could creating a safe space for everyone be an act of healing? Would you call it a source of salvation? If someone sticks up for you or listens to you or considers your opinion, is that healing? Could it be the doorway of liberation? If someone offers you the opportunity to be kind, is that healing? To be creative, to be generous? Is it possible that Jesus and Wheatley might be on to something? What about us? Are we also sources of salvation? I think the answer is yes. Not only are we a source of hope and salvation and a movement of healing for me, and I believe for many, this is Bethany. Place where we can lay it down, be who we are, and rest. Welcome to the United Church. Together we create a strong sense of belonging, a safe space to flourish, and opportunities to grow in our own way and in our own time. This is the time in our service when we get up again and we come to the table. Don't we? Oh, yes, the cup of love and the bread of life. And so when we share, when we give each other the bread of life, this is a reminder that we are in this together. We take communion by intention. So the bread, we dip into the cup of love, and yes, it dribbles and it's messy, but so is love, and so is life. So come. You can also bring forward your offerings, leave your prayer requests, touch the water, grab an instrument as you make your way back to your seat. This is your opportunity to stand up and make some noise, and to sing and dance, or to stay in your seats if you'd like.
I just want to add that we did this song, not last Sunday, but the Sunday before, and you really impressed me. So we're gonna do it again. No pressure. You are mighty, you are mighty, you are worthy, you are worthy, worthy of praise, worthy of praise. I will follow, I will listen, I will listen, I will love you, I will love you, all of my days, all of my days, yeah. I will sing and worship your King, is worthy of love, adore Him. I will bow down before Him. I will sing and worship your King, is worthy of love, adore Him. I will bow down before Him. You're my Prince of Peace. I will live my life for You. Yeah. You are holy, you are holy, you are mighty, you are mighty, you are worthy, you are worthy, worthy of praise, worthy of praise. I will come, I will listen, I will listen, I will love You, I will love You all my days, all my days. I will sing and worship our King, is worthy of love and adore Him. I will bow down before Him. I will sing and worship our King, is worthy of love and adore Him. I will bow down before Him. I'm a Prince of Peace. I will live my life for You. I will sing and worship the King who is worthy of love and adore Him. I will bow down before Him. I will sing and worship the King who is worthy of love and adore Him. I will bow down before Him. You're my Prince of Peace. I will live my life for You. Very good, everybody. All right.
You are invited into the closing circle, and if you are not comfortable standing, we can bring the circle to you. And again, I misspoke. This is a closing shape. It doesn't have to be a circle. This is your opportunity to share a thought or a word with one another, and then we'll take a moment for announcements.
I'd like to say something. I'm in charge of prayer for April, Jill. I'd like to do it differently. I'd like everybody, the whole church, to be praying on Thursday at 10 o'clock. And I was thinking maybe we could all lift up Khalil. Instead of everybody praying at a different hour, praying for something different, that we would all lift up Khalil. This, maybe this week, because it's imminent. And anyway, that's what I'm gonna do, like every week, maybe we could pray for something that's important.
We love it when you do things out of order, Bonnie. Thank you for that. We will, thank you for that. Any other takeaways or thoughts?
Turning the table. Both the ministry and also the energy.
I had a flashback to the yard sale. Seriously, where we turn the tables.
Yes.
People come in who don't normally come in.
Yes.
And then, you know, but also then turning tables.
Thank you.
The concept island insanity has stuck with me all week. I haven't put anything on a canvas or really done anything, but I've been looking for little islands around the house. Cats, spaces outside, the squirrels. I figure there's squirrels involved. There you go, Al. But that's a strong image.
Yes. Anyone else? Any announcements?
I have an announcement. As most of you know, on Tuesday, March 25th, the group of us are going to see Heather Cox Richardson at the University of North Florida. We need another driver to meet people from the church and take them up and bring them back. Not a problem during the daytime. By the time we come back, it will be dark. So if you are interested in driving a couple people to the University of North Florida on Tuesday, March 25th, let me know and we'll arrange that. And as a reward, you get a ticket to the
Okay,
event.
so that widens the welcome. If you haven't signed up,
Right.
we got a job.
And if you've been concerned that you wish you had signed up, this is the time to do it.
And I will pay for your gas because I can't see it.
Thank you for that.
Just want to introduce, oh, sorry. Ann and Dave, Tom's sister, and her husband, who are joining us this morning. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know if this is the great place. About 8 weeks from now is Pride, sister.
8 weeks from now is,
I don't know how we're gonna do it.
time goes fast. Thank you for the reminder. Anyone else? All right, so as we prepare to head over for some of that cake, it's carrot cake, so it's good for us. Vegetables. Let us go. Remember that we are blessed and we are blessings, and we go in peace. Oh, we have a book group after, yes. Yes.
Like, if they're not, they're big, 3